We all know that the border's been wide open for a while. There's probably been millions and millions of people cross the border illegally. We're hearing there's military age men coming across the border. The government's not really doing nothing about it. The Eagle Pass, they were going to send all the National Guards. You had the police department sending their extra officers down there to help them with it. But yet we're not hearing nothing about that no more, correct? It's kind of on the back burner because now we're focused on these protest riots at colleges, right, for Palestine. But yet the border is still a major issue. We're not hearing a lot about it. Why is that? Because it's not headline news. A lot of people's not talking about it no more on here, right? But we all know they're still coming across every day. And I told you that deal at Eagle Pass, Texas, you got to understand when they locked that area down, that was just a small area. 10, 15 miles down the road, they were still coming across, right? But that one area made headlines because it was just this huge deal, right? That, hey, we closed the border. When in actuality, it was still wide open. Just a little area was closed. And all these states jumped on board wanting to send help, right? National Guards were going to go help and everything. One thing a lot of people don't realize or maybe don't think about is a situation where these illegal immigrants come across either pregnant or they become pregnant when they're here. What happens once they have a child in the United States? That child is a U.S. citizen, protected by our laws, right, in the United States. Well, you still have you still have times that they're still arguing over this in the Supreme Court and stuff. Does it cover illegal immigrants? There's no real answer to it. Does it give the illegal immigrants the baby, does it have citizens' rights? It's kind of a back and forth, and there hasn't been a law passed yet that clearly says yes or no. A lot of people don't know that the first people that were refused citizenship when this 14th Amendment was passed in, I believe, 1868, was the American Indians. Now, it was, rewrote a while further down the road that gave them citizenship, but do you understand what I just said? When it was first wrote, American Indians, weren't considered citizens of the United States, even though they had been here the whole time, right? But here's the point of this. We already have a healthcare system that is just completely overwhelmed. It's crashing. We all know that. Anybody that's tried to go get help here lately or have something done, it takes forever to get it done, and it costs a lot of money nowadays. A lot of money. It's going to put, once them babies are born, it's going to put more strain on it, and then you're going to have more strain on the agencies that help the kids, like your WIC, your Medicaid, and all this and that. My question is, if the parent's deported, where does that child go? It's a United States citizen, right? More likely the child stays here, then it puts a strain on the foster care system, right? See, they're letting all these people cross. People are upset. Yes, they should be about, these military age males, that some of them are even are being proved to be that they shouldn't be here, right? And they're catching some of them. But the long-term reach of this is great. As far as, the children that are born to these illegal immigrants in the United States, it puts a more strain on our system. Does it help the parents stay in the United States? It possibly could. I don't know. I'm not, I didn't study law. But, we all know the foster care system is just overwhelmed right now, right? And it has been forever, pretty much. But you start adding all that in, and who are these more likely to vote for, right? When they get old enough to vote? Democrats, because they let them in. See, everything's a long-term goal here. It's a football game. Most people just pay attention play by play, right? This is going on today. This is going on yesterday. You understand what I'm talking about. But the higher-ups, they're playing the long game, right? They're looking for the overtime or the end of the game. They're playing that, right? They've got an end goal they're wanting to do. And our economy is already crashing. It's crashing around us, and people don't realize that because they're still able to go get a hamburger. They're still able to go get a loaf of bread at the store. But they're not realizing I'm paying 3 times more for this than I was 2 years ago or 3 years ago, right? What? Our system is just strained to the point where it's not going to take very much for it just to break and collapse. And a lot of people see that. A lot of people see that, and they're trying to do the best they can. They're preparing. they're stocking up on stuff, because they know, hey, I can buy this case of beans for $5 this week. Maybe this time next year that case of beans is going to cost me $10, right? I mean, and we're getting all kind of stuff on boxes. It's telling us it's got bioengineered foods in it. It could have crickets in it and all this and that. And I've told you my thought on that. It has probably always been in our food. They just now started telling us, pretty much, is the way I see it. But these illegal immigrants, they come across, they have a child, that child is a U.S. citizen. Then what happens, right? They're already getting free phones, free housing, free food, and money. Now you take somebody that's down on their luck, you or me, or somebody in your family that's down on your luck. I mean, you're down on your luck, right? You don't have $1 to your name. You go somewhere to get help. Number one, they're going to make you fill out all kind of paperwork. They're going to talk to everybody that knows you, right? They're going to try to see if you're lying, what's going on, right? And then maybe if you're lucky, they give you a little bit, like $10-20 a month for food, right? But meanwhile, an illegal immigrant can come across the border. Oh, here you go. Here's your EBT card, SNAP benefits. Oh, here's your phone, because everybody needs a phone nowadays, right? You can't survive without a phone. And here's your a debit card with a little money on it, and go stay at this hotel over there, right? Oh, you're illegal? We'll place you in a job somewhere. Yeah, that's how this is going. Now you take somebody that, like I said, that's down on their luck, somebody born here in the United States, they have to jump through all kind of hoops to get any kind of help, and you're not even going to get half of what the legal immigrants are getting. So how do we stop this? How do we put a stop to it? We know the government's not going to put a stop to it. They're not. A lot of people's just holding on for the election, with Donald Trump winning the election, and he's going to deport them all. That's what's in a lot of people's minds. You understand, it's me and you that pays for deporting them, right? It's not just something free they do. They have to pay for the officers, they have to pay for the bus, they have to pay for the fuel, they have to pay for all this stuff, and it's not their money. It's taxpayers' money that pays for this. So that's costing us money, right? All right, they deport them all. Well, let's say there was 10 million people that come across the border, and 500,000 babies were born during that time to these illegal immigrants. You still have that 500,000, right? Do you deport them? They were born in the United States, so technically they're a U.S. citizen, right? What do you do with them? Where do you place them? Do they have family here? Possibly. Go live with that family, right? But more than likely, they're going to wind up in foster care. Plain and simple. And they're also going to wind up drawing more money off the government as far as, needing benefits to help them, right? We do not have no money in America. We are broke. We are broke. We all grew up, maybe you asked your mom or dad for $5 for something, right? And they said, I ain't got it. I'm broke. And of course, they probably had it. They just didn't want to give it to you, right? This is the real deal. We are broke. I do not see where we're getting all this money to send to all these other countries for aid and all this war and all this and that. Where are we getting? If we have that much money hidden, why are we not putting it back into our system, taking care of Americans first? You keep hearing "Make America Great Again," right? No, "Put America First" should be the slogan. Put Americans first. That should be the slogan. Not "Make America Great Again." Put Americans first. Help your own before you reach out to help other people, because there are a lot of people here in the United States that needs help, that cannot receive it, cannot get it. There is. All this crap about unemployment being down. During the pandemic, we saw close to the true, how many people were actually unemployed by how many people filed for unemployment. We saw that because why? People who normally aren't allowed to draw unemployment were allowed to draw unemployment. I'm talking about the self-employed people, your carpenters, your plumbers, the guy who's out here washing cars for people, the guy who's doing self-employment, right? That gave us a truer number of what our unemployment rate actually is. And all these jobs they've invented, meaningless, part-time, no benefit jobs, right? And half the places that claim they are hiring are not hiring. They have that sign up, they run ads and everything that they're constantly hiring. They may have, here's what keeps them from getting in trouble. They have one opening, right? but they're taking thousands of applications for that one opening, and out of that 1,000 applications, you know, if something else comes open, they can pull from that. It's not that they have this whole shift hiring. You know, they might have one or two jobs in that place hiring. We have places down here all around me that says they're hiring all the time, but you see, you talk to 100 people. I put my application in there and they never called me back. That's what we're seeing here in this area. And we're talking, some of them have college degrees and not getting jobs. I'm sure they're going to tell them they're overqualified for the job that they're applying for, right? But the legal immigrants, they will take the jobs that most Americans won't do. You're not, you know, they're out here in the fields, right? They're doing the jobs, the hard labor jobs for a lot less pay than what you or I would accept, right? It gets to the point of where does this end? There is no end to this. It all has to crash. Are we, the people alive now, going to see it? I think we are. But I don't think it's going to be the type of crash everybody thinks it is, where everything crashes and, you know, you're out here Mad Max style running around in your underwear trying to protect gasoline jugs, right? I don't think that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be a collapse in the system, but it's going to be what I would call a soft collapse. They're going to ease us into it and then push in their digital dollar, right? Technically, we're already at the digital dollar. We really are. People won't accept it, but we are, because vast majority of people pay all their stuff with a debit or credit card now. Yeah, they might have a couple dollars in their pocket, but most of their stuff is through the digital currency now. It makes it easier, right? Problem is, when you go full digital, what happens when something major happens and you can't access your money, right? Guys, let me know your thoughts on this. I kind of rambled a little bit, and I'm sorry, but the babies that's going to be born out of all these legal immigrants, we need to think about that now. Keep your head on a swivel, be aware of your surroundings at all times, protect yourself and your family at all times. At that moment, you're the only person who can do it. Stay safe, keep prepping, like and share this video, and leave a comment. Stay safe.